Aloha! In this video, we will go over the publish settings. Once your assessment is made, you must publish it before your students will be able to take it. On the assessment screen, there is a little gear-shaped icon to the right of the Accept Until date. This icon takes you to the Set Options page where you can set the parameters of the test and eventually publish. Let's go over the options available. In here, you can make changes to the title and type just as you can in the Edit or Add Assessment form. The following are setting options for your assessment. Here you can control how and when you want your assessment available. The open date and time is when the assessment will be available for the students to take. If you publish the assessment, the students will be able to see it on the list, but they won't be able to go into it until the open date. The due date is when the assessment should be due. If the accept until date is later than the due date, then the students will be able to submit their work after the due date, but the assessment will be marked as late. If a student is taking the assessment and hits the time specified by the accept until date or due date because accept until is optional, their work will be automatically saved and submitted. You can allow any number of tries, including unlimited. When you're grading, you can view each submission and select which one you want to release to the gradebook. By default, the submission with the highest score will be chosen. The time is formatted in an hour-hour, minute-minute style, so be sure to double-check what you have against the instructions until you get the hang of it. Now we're in the review section where you can control how and if you want the students to be able to review their test and or see the answers for the questions that are automatically graded. Make review available sets when the student will be able to go back through and review their answers. Upon submission, lets them go back immediately after completing the test, while upon release, lets your students have access after you've graded and released the submissions back to the students. After date gives you the option to set a solid date and time for review to become available. This is convenient because it can be set to correspond with the close or accept until date listed above. Never will not allow the students to review their submission. Once you've determined when your students can review their submissions, this setting allows you to control how much they can see. For all answers, give the student the correct answer to each question, as well as showing how the response matched with the correct answer. Only for correct answers will allow the students to see their answers and give them a confirmation if they answered correctly. Never will only display the answers that were submitted with no comment on correctness. Show feedback will make the feedback for each question, if any, available to the students. This is not specific feedback on the student submission, but rather feedback that was provided per question within the question pool. Under Release Grades, if you choose Automatic Release, the students will be able to see their score against the questions that were automatically corrected. Manual Release gives you time to grade the questions that were not automatically graded, such as essay types, without your students seeing their initial auto grade. Checking Send to Gradebook will send their release grades to the gradebook. Warning, if you have only marked an exam as evaluated, it will not appear in the gradebook. You must have released the grade. Checking Suppress username while grading will allow for anonymous grading. You can provide a password to the assessment, which is particularly useful for an online course when you're having your test proctored. You can provide that password to the monitor. Changing the presentation options allows you to customize how the assessment is displayed. The Honor Pledge requires students to agree to a statement of ethics before being allowed to take the test. The text for the Honor Pledge is, "The work that I submit for this test is my own. I will neither give nor receive any aid on this test." When creating a question, you may add hints for your students to access if they get stuck. This option allows the students to view those hints. The TTS tool does not track what questions were answered with the help of a hint. Under Navigation, Flexible Order gives the ability to go forward and back through the test. Mark questions for review and access a table of contents to navigate through the questions and see which questions need to be reviewed. Strict Order is a very rigid format with no ability to go back or review answers before submitting. The various options for layout are one question per page, one part per page, or the entire test on one page. If your assessment consists of multiple parts, you can choose to have the numbering continued from start to finish or restart after each part. Finally, you can leave a message for your students at the end of the test. Along the bottom are three buttons: Save, Test Drive, and Publish. All three will save any modifications you have made, so there's no need to save and then publish. Save will take you back to the Assessments menu. Test Drive will take you to the Test Drive tool so you can see a student view of the test. And Publish will publish the test and return to the Assessments menu. Publishing the test will put it on the assessment list for the students. Congratulations, you've gone through the process of creating and publishing assessments from start to finish.